Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that got sued for crazy reasons. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at films that were on the receiving end of some of cinematic history's most bizarre lawsuits and threats of legal action. Number 10. The Matrix.
The Matrix is everywhere.
The Matrix is the classic tale of a CIA agent named Jim Reese who gains immortality and is then tasked with fighting Hitler's son in the year 2235. What, you don't remember that part? That's okay, neither do we, and neither did Judge R. Gary Klausner when a lawsuit was filed against The Matrix for repurposing elements of a script submitted to Warner Brothers in 1993. Klausner ruled, quote, "The basic premises of the Matrix trilogy and the Immortals are so different that it would be unreasonable to find their plots substantially similar." Whoa, Judge Byrne. A woman claiming the film was a ripoff of a manuscript she wrote had previously sued the film a few years earlier.
Buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Number 9. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Are you ready?
The fourth Harry Potter film was one of the series' most exciting, as it introduced a slew of new characters and set the stage for the darker films to come. However, it was also the subject of a frivolous lawsuit. In 2005, a Canadian band called the Weird Sisters sued the film because it featured a band called the Weird Sisters. They tried to block the release of the film but failed, and were then ordered to pay Warner Brothers legal costs, a whopping $140,000. Their plan blew up in their face worse than the time Seamus tried to turn water into rum. The case was eventually resolved out of court. Number 8. Titanic.
I'm flying. Jack.
Back in 2012, a full 15 years after Titanic was released, a woman by the name of Princess Samantha Kennedy, who we feel obliged to mention is not a real princess, filed a lawsuit alleging that the film was a ripoff of her unpublished biography. She sued Paramount Pictures and demanded that all copies of the film be destroyed and that she be given all of the box office sales. In the event that you've been living under a rock for the past 2 decades, Titanic is one of the highest grossing films of all time, with worldwide box office receipts totaling more than $2 billion. So yeah, it didn't end well.
You're so stupid. Why'd you do that, huh?
Number 7. Suicide Squad.
All of that chit-chat's gonna get you hurt.
Oh!
Despite being featured prominently in Suicide Squad's marketing campaign, Jared Leto's Joker has under 10 minutes of screen time in the film. For most fans, this might elicit a shoulder shrug or perhaps a nasty Facebook comment, but for Reddit user Black Panther 2016, it meant all-out war. The UK resident claimed to be suing the studio for false advertising, even going so far as to post his court date online. We understand that he or she is upset, but come on, films fail to deliver on their promises all the time. Time to move on.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Number 6. The Hangover Part II.
Where are we?
One of the Hangover Part 2's funniest scenes comes when the guys wake up in a dingy Bangkok hotel room and discover that Stu acquired some new ink while drunk. The face tat was directly inspired by the one that former professional boxer Mike Tyson has on his face. This wasn't lost on the man who performed the tattoo, artist S. Victor Whitmill, who filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers, claiming that by using his work in the film, they were committing copyright infringement. A judge allowed the case to go forward, and an undisclosed settlement was reached in 2011, making this one of the rare instances of a bizarre film lawsuit actually sort of succeeding.
This is a real tattoo!
Number 5. MonsterinLaw.
You don't go and slap somebody and then apologize. Get some backbone.
Trying to sue a film because you feel that the annoying mother-in-law character is too similar to the one in your own screenplay is a bold move. And yet that didn't stop Sherry Gilbert from suing Jennifer Lopez, Jane Fonda, and others for their involvement in the 2005 flick MonsterinLaw. Gilbert filed a copyright lawsuit in North Carolina and claimed that Warner Brothers owed her a portion of the film's $155 million in box office returns. Warner Brothers fired back by saying that the mother-in-law character was hardly a new one and asked that the case be thrown out. Number 4. Knowing.
The numbers are the key to everything.
This largely forgettable Nicolas Cage sci-fi drama was at the center of one of the craziest lawsuits in cinematic history. The tech company Global Findability claimed that the film infringed on their patent for an integrated information processing system, something that helps them process information in order to find an exact coordinate. Unlike in the film, Global Findability's technology cannot find the precise location of a disaster before it happens, but that didn't stop them from suing the pants off of Summit Entertainment and escape artists anyway. The case was ultimately dismissed in 2011.
It's all simply coincidence.
Number 3. Drive.
I don't sit in while you're running it down. I don't carry a gun. I drive.
Long before Suicide Squad was being sued for false advertising, a woman sued Drive for its misleading trailer. Apparently, Michigan resident Sarah Deming was upset with the lack of adrenaline-fueled action set pieces in the film, and felt that the trailer made it seem like Drive was similar to the films of the Fast and the Furious franchise. Deming's lawsuit claimed that the film bore very little similarity to a chase or race action film, having very little driving in the motion picture. Suffice it to say, this one never stood a chance in court. Number 2. The Dark Knight.
Targeting me won't get their money back.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. There's a city in Turkey by the name of Batman, and its mayor felt that Christopher Nolan's noir superhero film owed them money. He claimed that Warner Brothers and Nolan never received permission from the city of Batman to use the name, and that, quote, there is only one Batman in the world. The American producers used the name of our city without informing us. The big question here is, why did it take them so long? Batman has been around since the 1930s. As such, the time frame to file an objection had long since passed, and so Warner Brothers was seemingly never served with papers.
And why do you want to kill me?
Number 1. Frozen.
I wish it could be like this all the time. Me too.
Frozen is the story of a princess who teams up with an anthropomorphic snowman to find her estranged sister. And there's at least one person who saw it and thought, this movie is based on my life. Such was the case for New Jersey author Isabella Tanakumi, who filed a lawsuit against Disney claiming that Frozen stole characters, plots, subplots, and storylines from her novels, which are based on her own life. She demanded that Disney pay her $250 million in damages, and that they cease and desist from any and all sales, distribution, and marketing related to the film. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the case was dismissed in 2015.
That's a first.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.